then you
that
just
mentioned
kick
about well, yeah,
Sewell to
they're
left.
basically, that sounds like they're in the process of doing the Sewell thing. So
Yeah, I was told they love Proctor, by the way.
that makes sense.
I think you should be fired. If you like to do the fireable offense, that's a fireable offense. If you take Proctor over Iheanacho, Proctor's tape is not good.
But Proctor worked out so well today at Alabama's Pro Day. He looked brilliant. And every GM there is talking about Kadyn Proctor and the traits.
Great. My guy from Arizona State's 321 pounds, 33 to 7/8 inch arms at the combine, which means he probably has 36 arms at his pro day. He ran a 4.91 40 with a 1.73 split. What are we talking about? I don't want to get into a negative thing here. I just don't understand the Kadyn Proctor love at all. I will go this far, and I've said this before. I understand that Blake Miller is a first-round tackle. I understand. I've taken my medicine. I'm taking Max Iheanacho over Blake Miller. That's how strongly I feel about Iheanacho. I think he's got more upside. I think he has better tape now. And as good as Blake Miller worked out, he had a great workout. Iheanacho's workout was better.
All right, man, we got this Proctor guy. So it was rumors, and I put the videos in everything. Daniel Jeremiah said that the Lions, really love the Proctor kid from Alabama. Like I said, I stopped doing draft spotlights. College football just don't interest me like that no more. Other than Michigan and Michigan State or stuff like that, I ain't really interested in college football no more. I guess it's the transfer portal, the NIL, just don't hit the same. But apparently, this Proctor guy is somebody that the Lions love. Had a great pro day. Now the dude on Daniel Jeremiah's podcast is saying that the kid from Arizona State got better film and Proctor film is bad. Now, maybe the Lions, check out the Detroit Lions Talk playlist, maybe the Lions feel like we can put Sewell on left and put him at right. Because then kind of when you start to get into these conversations about, I know just a smidget about the draft. I don't even know when the draft is. I know a smidget about it. That kid from Miami, the tackle from Miami, he's a tweener. So one of those mock drafts you seen going on with the Daniel Jeremiah, and I forget old girl name, the first video I probably played, they had the Lions picking him at 17. But what they were saying in the clip was that it makes sense because Sewell is probably go to left, and that's what Dan Campbell want. We already talked about that. And they will put the kid from Miami at tackle. Now, what scares me about the kid from Miami being at tackle, it's been a lot of guys, especially with the Giants. I noticed they took some tackles and the Jets, and they just was trash. They had to be guards, and and the thing about it is, if he falling like that from being the top 5 pick to down to 17, what that tells you is he's more guard than tackle. And what I mean by that, not just more guard than tackle, he's more he's less left to work, no chance at being a left tackle. So he's more possibly guard than tackle. So you basically drafted another guard, which, for the most part, for the Lions, if it worked out that way where you take the kid and he don't turn out good as a right tackle, I don't really think you're mad because he's a hell of a right guard. You can, Mahogany, you can push him to the background and you can have the kid from Miami, Tate Ralish, doing their thing at guard. But eventually you want to tackle. You want to tackle. You want a guy that can kick in the left tackle if you need to. Ideally, you want a left tackle. You want a left tackle. That's what you want to get. Even if you move Sewell to left, we want to have 2 premier left tackles. And that's what they want. But getting him to play that right tackle, you want him to be a monster in the run game too. So but the second guy that was on there with Todd McShay, he was basically saying that the kid, the Proctor tape is pretty bad. And maybe the Lions are looking at it from the vantage point of we can fix those things. This guy's an elite athlete. We can fix those things. And when you're looking at a left tackle prospect, if they got great arm length and they are great feet and they're, and according to them, he had a great pro day, we can teach him how to play tackle. You know what I'm saying? We can teach him how to clean up the mistakes. And we feel like Hank Fairley, whatever his name is, the offensive line coach, can clean up his mistakes. Okay? That's what we feel like he can clean up his mistakes. Now, that's where a lot of teams get in trouble at. They fall in love with the offensive lineman being athletic, right? Being the Jonathan Ogdens of the world, the Trent Williams of the world. So many great tackles, that been in this league, man, and but they looking at, okay, we could clean them up, but it's been so many of these guys that failed. There's been so many of these guys that failed playing tackle. And Tyron Smith with the Cow, who's still athletic. I seen a video of him the other day. I mean, you still athletic, but the body just got beat down playing in the league. But there's so many guys that's failed who had these athletic abilities, but they couldn't play football. So hopefully the Lions aren't making a mistake with a guy that they feel is an elite athlete and they can coach up. Because if that's the case, the kid from Miami, he can play football. It's just the fact that he might be more guard than tackle. The kid Proctor from Alabama, you can't play with the left tackle position. So that would mean if they took a Proctor, they're going to play him at right tackle and Sewell at left. So, he's talking about the kid from, I think, Arizona State, he said, had better tape. I mean, they've been mocked to take the kid from Georgia. And the thing about it is, this is the position that's imperative. See, they can play around with edge, and they can pray that Anzarike come back healthy. They can pray that Aleem McNeil provide some juice for Aiden Hutchinson. But one thing they can't pray on is that Jared Goff gets some feet, that Jared Goff become more athletic, that Jared Goff can become a more mobile quarterback. So they're going to cover that deficiency up first and foremost. So they're not going to play with Jared Goff. They're not going to play with that. So I know a lot of, so that's why the tackle position, they're probably going to get a nice little tackle. And then, and depending which one they get. So like I said, if the kid from Miami fought them, he probably going to play right tackle or go to guard. If the kid from Georgia go play them, he might be a left tackle, from what I understand. The kid from Arizona State sound phenomenal. I mean, Corey, I never seen him, but left tackle probably. That Proctor kid, if the footage just needs that much cleaning up, probably gonna start off at right tackle. But if you looking to get a left tackle exclusively, this becomes a crucial draft pick. This becomes very crucial. I say that right now. Sewell gives them room for wiggle, a lot of room for error, because he can go over there and he'll clean up the pass blocking issues, in my opinion. But he go over there and be fine. But ideally, you want to keep your best player where he's at, where he's dominant at. So. But if they can find a dominant left tackle in this draft, man, Jahmyr Gibbs might run for 2 racks. I say that right now. He might run for 2 racks. Taylor Decker, and why is he still out there on the street, he's a fucking liability, man. Especially in the run game, he's a liability. So, but it is what it is, man. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance. Get notifications. We go live or drop video. Find me on X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Appreciate the love, support. Peace.